From the Opepco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell, and we're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. You can go online anytime and order your pizza at papajohns.com. It's time for our 5 and 5 segment. We have got 5 topics for about a minute each, for about 5 minutes. And let's get started with this one, Barry. A lot of people talking about Russell Westbrook's post-game comments the other night. So, is Russell Westbrook's behavior a concern?
Well, a concern for who? Concern for me? No. If Russell doesn't like me, I think it's his loss, but that's his prerogative. Is it a concern for the Thunder? I don't think so, because the one thing you can say about Russell, he's consistent. He's acting, his behavior is pretty much the same all the time. You can, you can sort of count on him being fairly obstinate a good part of the time on and off the court, and frankly, the Thunder has thrived with that. So I don't think Russell Westbrook's behavior is a concern. It's not any different than it has been these last 7 years, and the Thunder has built an elite franchise. So I'm going to say no.
Well, I'll disagree with you on is it a concern for the Thunder? Is it a concern in terms of winning basketball games and those sorts of things? No. But here's where I think it does rise to something concerning that surely some Thunder top brass will be talking about. Sam Presti, Clay Bennett, they've always talked about making this team part of the fabric of the community, reflecting the community. And I don't know about you, but I don't have many people in my circle of friends, or even if I expand out to my circle of people I just know in passing, that would act like Russell Westbrook acted the other night. That, to me, is where if you're the Thunder and you say, we want to be part of this community, where you have to say, people in Oklahoma and Oklahoma City don't normally act like that, Barry. So to me, that's where I disagree. I think this has to be something Thunder brass are going to say, there's a time and a place to have that chip on your shoulder, and talking to the media, talking to the public, talking to the fans is maybe not the time to have that be the case. All right, Barry, let's talk about some other hoops. Big 12 basketball. So, we're all of 6 games in. Is the Big 12 race over?
Well, I don't think so, although, frankly, I think Kansas is going to win it again. I think Kansas always wins it.
Grudgingly.
So, but I don't think it's over. I mean, I think you can maintain some hope if you're looking for an end to the Jayhawk reign of terror. I think Iowa State still is in there fighting. Cyclones beat the Kansans on last weekend in Ames, so they're tied in the loss column there at the top with the Jayhawks. So I think Iowa State still got a shot. But if you're asking me who's going to win it, I'm going to say Kansas, because the Jayhawks always do. But hope springs eternal. I think Iowa State can at least make it interesting.
Yeah, I think it is still a possibility that we have somebody other than Kansas winning the Big 12 basketball race. But I tell you what, games like Monday night where Oklahoma goes in there and comes back, a fantastic comeback from 20 points down, and just can't figure out a way to win. Kansas somehow, the magic comes through and they win. Those are the type of games that when you're the defending, on and on champion, tends to happen. And this is a young Kansas team. This is not a Kansas team like a lot of the teams that Bill Self has. So I think they're susceptible, but yet you see things like that we saw Monday night, and you think, this is just another Kansas team that's going to win another championship. All right, Barry, what about this one? Super Bowl is set. So, is the Super Bowl really the Cheaters Bowl?
I think it is the Cheaters Bowl. First of all, Bill Belichick, I mean, we know Bill Belichick is that guy, that always squeezes on his taxes, always cuts in line, always is looking for some sort of deal. We all have people in our life like that, and they'll just wear you out. And we go along and just sort of ignore them just because they're not worth dealing with. And that's the way the NFL sort of deals with Bill Belichick, who's always pushing the envelope or crossing the line with Spygate, with the rules, now with this the deflated footballs. Over in Seattle, Pete Carroll is driving down that lane, particularly with the excessive practices in the spring that the Seahawks were guilty of. So yeah, these are two organizations that are very aggressive with the rules, and sometimes when you're aggressive with the rules, you go over the line. So I think it is the Cheaters Bowl.
Aggressive with the rules. I like that. You should do PR for Belichick and Carroll with that kind of phraseology. Yeah, I think this is going to be a hard Super Bowl for a lot of people to find a side to really cheer for. I'm probably going to cheer for the Seahawks myself. I think it's largely because I like Russell Wilson. He seems like a decent guy. But if you look around for things you don't really like in this Super Bowl, it's pretty abundant. So, I mean, but at the same time, even though I think it is the Cheaters Bowl, I think people are going to watch this, Barry. I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game. I think it's going to be a pretty fantastic contest. And Bill Belichick doesn't get to inflate the footballs for this one. All right, Barry, our fun question of the week. It's your birthday week. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah. 37 this week. 37
that's what I thought. All right, so what's the best birthday dessert? What's your go-to birthday dessert?
Well, it just depends on who's offering. I mean, first of all, it's pie. It's pie. I don't want to eat, I mean, I'll eat cake, but I'm with Marie Antoinette. Let everybody else eat cake. I want pie. The dish, my wonderful wife, if she's going to make it, let's go blueberry. She makes a fabulous blueberry pie. My mom makes this concoction. We call it trammel pie. I don't know what it is. It's a bunch of stuff, and it's I don't even know how to describe it.
Is it more chocolate or more fruit?
No, it's more like graham cracker and nuts and whipped cream and stuff. It's really good. She refuses to give anybody the recipe because she says she doesn't even know it. She just sort of puts it together, so she doesn't even know how to give it to somebody else. But my niece has taken up the cause, and on Thanksgiving made a great trammel pie. So the legacy is secure. So if my niece is going to do it, I want a trammel pie. If my mom, I'd probably take a custard pie. She makes great custard pie. So one of those. As long as it's pie, I'm pretty good.
So, okay, so no birthday cake for you.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I'm a big fan of cake, but I got to tell you, if I'm going to have a dessert on my birthday, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be the Oreo cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory, or it's going to be creme brulee from anywhere that does creme brulee well. Those are my two favorites, and if I'm going to splurge on my birthday, that's what I want.
Now, I've always looked at creme brulee as just custard with a fancy name.
Yeah, with a little, they
burn the top. Yeah, they burn the top.
It's basically right.
Okay.
But it's still good.
It's pretty good.
That doesn't mean it's not good.
I'll take custard.
All right, our last question. So, is a Sooner going to be the Dallas running back next year? Barry, you've already addressed the issue in the newspaper and on News OK about who the Cowboys should keep in terms of Dez Bryant or DeMarco Murray. You say it's clearly Dez Bryant, but is there a chance they could either keep DeMarco Murray too, or maybe go after Adrian Peterson? A Sooner still is the Cowboys running back?
I'm going to say a Sooner will be the tailback in Dallas next year, and I think it will be Murray or Peterson. I think Adrian Peterson is Jerry Jones' grand plan. Now, I don't have anything to base that on, and I don't know if anybody else does either. But it just sounds like a wonderful Jerry Jones thing. He likes to make a splash, no bigger splash than Adrian Peterson joining the Cowboys. Adrian, of course, has been sort of defrocked with his charge of child abuse, pled guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. But I think Adrian will be probably through in Minnesota. Not every NFL owner would take a chance on the PR hit that's coming with whoever signs Adrian Peterson. Jerry Jones really doesn't worry too much about PR. So public relations is not Jerry's world. So I think Jerry would take a swing at signing Adrian Peterson. I think there's a very good chance he would. Peterson might be a Cowboy next September.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a Sooner, and I think it's Adrian Peterson. And Barry had some fantastic numbers in his column about Dez Bryant and DeMarco Murray. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. In terms of just the volume of carries that DeMarco Murray had this season, and how guys that have had similar amounts of carries, how their productivity has fallen off. I mean, it's really the greats like Eric Dickerson who have had that kind of season in terms of just the volume of carries and been able to maintain it with more seasons like that. So it's not to say that DeMarco Murray won't be able to do that. It has been done, but it's really difficult. And here you have Adrian Peterson. He's obviously not perfect. He's had the knee injury. He's had the off-field issues. But he's also had a year off. So he's going to come back with as fresh a legs as any running back you're going to see. And this is a guy who, was the league MVP not so long ago. So I think because of the off-field stuff, I think because of the fact that a lot of teams aren't going to take him, Jerry Jones might actually be able to get him at, I don't know what a reduced rate would be, but I got to think there's going to be
I think he would come cheap.
A marked down number that they could go out and get a guy that could really make a difference in that backfield. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.